how you doing? It's Jeff back again with what I would call a classic Iron Maiden track. This was suggested to me by one of my subscribers, a really good call. When the Wind Blows. Been kind of active just recently because it was actually featured on an episode of The Walking Dead. So that brought a lot of interest back into this song. And the suggestion when it came through, I thought, great, let's go and do it. It is a long song. It's a big song. Lots to cover in this. So what I've done, I have covered the main part of the song in this first lesson here. Then on the premium channel, I am going to be posting Adrian Smith's guitar solo and Dave Murray's guitar solo. Also, I've got all the tablatures going to be on there as well. And also, I'm putting together a backing track that should be on there. So plenty to occupy yourself on the premium channel. So if you've never visited it before, check it out. Links down below. Subscription service, but it's got some great stuff on there that you're not going to find anywhere else. So please do check it out. Love the support of already those people who are a member of the premium channel. If this is your first time to the channel, hi, how you doing? It really is good to see you. If you're a Maiden fan, if you're a Judas Priest, you're a Saxon, any of them new wave of British heavy metal, this really is the place to go. So why not help yourself? Click on that subscribe button, click on that bell. That way you're going to be notified whenever I'm posting any new songs to the channel. And while you're at it, why not help me out? Hit that like button. That really helps the channel to get bigger. Bigger it is, the more stuff I can keep putting down for you. So it's a win-win situation for all of us. Anyway, enough of the plugs about the channel. Let's get into this song. Let's work through it. I would suggest that you get hold of the tablature, which will be in that link below, and that way you'll be able to follow through the main lesson stage by stage. So as I said, there is a lot to cover in this lesson. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to shut up, we're going to get into it, and we're going to go through it stage by stage. So you know the score. Don't go away.
Preview.
At the opening of the song, obviously we've got the nice effects of the wind blowing, and then we've got one guitar that's slightly processed and it's just moving between two chords, which is going to be a C add 9 going to an E add 9. The way we're playing that, we're putting a bar across the 3rd fret, we're holding down, we've got 3rd fret on the A, then we're going to be 5 on the D and 5 on the G, and then the bar's looking after 3 on the B and the 3 on the E. And we just strum that. That holds for a whole bar. And we just take that whole shape, move it all the way up to the 7th fret. So we've got that E add 9. 2, 3, 4. Back. So that's playing in the background through that intro. Behind that we've got two guitars that are harmonizing, and the line that they're playing behind that goes like this. The way we play that, we start off on 12B, 12E, 12B to the 10E, then we go back to the 12B, 10E, 12B, 10E, 12B. So we play that nice and slow. What I did, I try and emphasize, you can see the movement between them two strings. We go back and we do the 12s again. So we get 12B, 12E, 12B, 10 on the E, 12 on the B, and then we're going to go 10 on the E slide to the 12. So that part. And we got that. That's that little push there to the 12. Next line, exactly the same, starting off on the 12B to the 12E, 12B, and we got that 10, now the final one's slightly different. We've got 12 on the B, 12E, 12B, 10E, and then we do 12 to the 13 on the B. So, and then we repeat that line back all over again. Now that's the first harmony. Let's check out the second harmony. Now the harmony is played down on the 9th fret across the D and the G string, and it goes exactly the same phrasing, but we're playing this. And now we're starting on the 9th fret on the D string, and we're going 9D, 9G, 9D, and 7 on the G, back to the 9D, and then we've got this 7, 9, 7, 9, and we go back to the 9 on the D, to the 9G, 9D, 7G, to the 9D, and then we got that slide on the G string, 7 to 9. Go back and repeat that opening bar again, which is that 9D, 9G, 9D, 7G, 9D, and then we've got that movement again, 7, 9, 7, 9. And then 9D, 9G, 9D, 7G, 9 on the D, go into the 10. And that closes that section. At this point, there is a tempo increase, which is going up to 120 beats per minute. So let's now check out that section of the song. What we'll do first, we're going to look at what Adrian Smith is playing through this section, which is all just playing a 5-chord arpeggiated sequence. It does start off on the A string, playing an E5. And the pattern is just going from 7 on the A to 9 on the D, 9 on the G, and then back to the 9 on the D. So we have just got... And then he's going to take the same pattern. This is always played the same pattern, so we're just going to follow the chord sequence. So we've got an E5, down to a C5, and we move down to a G5, so this time we're playing across that pattern, across the E, the A and the D string. Moves up to a D5, so we're back on the A string. Back up to the E, to the C, to the G, to the D, back up to the E, to the C, the G again, to the D, then we go down to an A5, so we play an A open string, 2, D, 2, G. Play this twice, this one. Up to a C5, and then up to a D5. And then that is repeated. Now this is continually repeated through the intro verse, or the intro to the verse section, and through the verses. So it's the same repeated line through that entire section. We're going to do now, we're going to check out what is being played by Janick Gers over the top of that, which goes like this. So we start off on the 9th fret on the G string, go into 7 and then 8 on the B. Then we got 7 on the B, 2 9s on the G, 2 7s on the G, 9 on the D, back to 7G, 2 9s on the D, 10 on the A, and then 7 on the D string. So we get then we've got that 9 7 8 again on starting off on the G string. Then we got 7 on the B, 2 9s again on the G, 2 7s. Then we got 9 on the D, going to 7 this time. So that is now the next line is exactly the same as the first one, so we get that. The same as that first phrase. Then we have got an 8 7 on the B string, so we got 8 7 8, and then we do 10 on the B to 7 on the high E, finishing on 10 on the high E. So we get and again that is repeated through that intro verse section. And we're going to look at the next phrase that Janick Gers plays over that intro section. Again, I'll just play it through and then we'll go through it note by note. It goes like this. Now that gets played, well, it gets repeated. So let's just go through that line. So we start off on 9 on the D to 9 on the G. Then we do a 7 8 7 on the B to the 9 G. And then we got a 7 on the G, 2 9s, 2 7s, 2 9s. So that first part. And the second part starts off the same, so we got the 9D, 9G, 7 8 7 on the B. Then we go down to the G on the 9, G7, another G7, 2 G9s, and then it's the 7 9 on the G. And as said, we just repeat that whole line all over again. Right, let's check out the next phrase that he's doing through there. The next one goes like this. I'm going to do this one a little bit short because the next ones are not repeated lines. So the next one is this one. I'm doing there, I'm on the high E string, I'm going to play the 7 4 times. Then I'm doing on the B string 10 8 7. On the G string now I'm doing 7, 2 9s, 2 7s, 2 9s, and then back to the 7. And then the next one following on from that is doing it's the same as one we've done before. We're doing a 9 on the D, 9G, 7 8 7 on the B, and then 9 on the G. This is all going to be a G string. 9 7 7 9 9 7 9. So that's the same as ones we've done before. Now the next line goes like this. A slight difference again on this. Kind of a blending between lines there. So what we're getting there is D9, G9, 7 8 7 on the B, and then down to the G string, 9 7 7 9 9 7 7. Then we do just 1 9 on the G, and then we've got that line on the B string, which is 8 7 8, followed by that 10 7 10, which is 10 on the B, and then 7 to the 10 on the high E. Now at this stage, he repeats that whole section again. So he's going through that first part, the does that. Now to finish it off, we do the usual one. We got that. That one there, which is that 9 on the D, 9G, 787, 9 on the G, 77, 99, 77, 99, 7. Now this is the final one, takes us out of this little section here. We're going to do a 9, we do this. So starts off the same, 9D, G, 9, 787 on the B, 9, 7 on the G, and then the little slowing down part, he's just going to play 7 on the G, 9 on the B, and then 7. Now this line is repeated all the way through the verses because this is the melody that is also being sung by Bruce Dickinson. Now of course I'm going to be including the tab on this so you can run through it and you just follow it through bit by bit. But I say you can hear Bruce singing that melody, so that whole line is going to be repeated through all of the verse sections. Takes us right through into verse 4 and into verse 5. Now if you're following this with the tablature and the sheet music, we are into what will be called Interlude Number One. So what I'm going to do is just go through the rhythm track on this one. So I'm going to play it through and then I'll break it down. So it goes like this. And that just repeats through that section. So what are we playing then? We got the Iron Maiden gallop to start with. So we've got on E5, we're doing down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. Pretty standard further. Then we've got 2 open strings. Then another E5. Then another E string to an E5, and then we've got a down, up. So let me just play that way through for you. So we get. Then we go to the 12th verse, we're on a G, and we're just playing 10 and 12, down to a 5, so we're playing a D5, sliding down to a C, so that holds part, when we're down here we just got a whole bar of the Maiden Gallop, so we pick that up. Moving down to a G5, to a D5, and then we repeat. So that is the rhythm section that is played over Interlude Number One. So that rhythm sequence is played twice, then it gets played through the bridge section. In fact, it gets played all the way through, right up to Adrian Smith's guitar solo. So what we're going to do now, we're going to check out what the guitars are playing behind that. However, the solo, the rhythm section, is very similar to what we've just been playing. There's just one little variation on it. I'll just play it through and then I'll break it down. We're doing we start off on that E5 chord, and we're going to play 1.5 bars. So we get this 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Now on that 3, we're going to move up to the G5, so we're on 10th fret, and then we got this on that chord. Then we go down to the C5 for a whole bar. Down to the G for half a bar, to the D5 for another half bar. And then we just repeat that. And that is played all of the way through Adrian Smith's guitar solo. Now what we're going to do, we're going to check out Interlude Number 2 on the tab sheet, which goes like this. I'm doing that, I am starting off on the E5 again, using the same chords as the previous ones, but we get in this, so we're going down, up, down, up, down. So we're just playing it 5 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we move up to the G5 on that 10th fret, same thing. Down to the C5. Then we have got on the G5, so on 10th fret, moving down to the 5, and then we repeat it, and that is repeated all of the way through Interlude Number 2, which is taking us down to Dave Murray's guitar solo, and we continue that pattern all of the way through Dave Murray's guitar solo, and then we are into Interlude Number 3. So let's check out what is being played there, which goes like this. What we do now, we're starting off on an E5 and we're coming in on the 1 count, so we're getting 1, moving up to the G5 on the 10th fret, going down to the C, which is on the low E string on the 8th fret, back to the G on the A string, and then we are doing a D here, which is on the 10th fret, back to the G, then we repeat the E, up to the G, then we go all the way down to the C chord, and we go across to the A, and then we do a G A, and we repeat. And that is the rhythm that is being played all of the way through Interlude section number 3. So in Interlude 4, we're going back to a nice kind of bouncy little riff. So I'm just going to play it through, and then of course I'm going to break it down for you. So it goes like this. So we start off on 2nd fret on the D string, so we are going to play. Then we got 3 4s on the G string, so we go. Then we're going to do all on the G string, 2 4 5 4 2, and then on to 5 on the D string. So the first part. Then we're back on the G string doing a 2 4 2, on to the D string 5 4, and then on to a 2 on the D string. So we get. Then we've got 2 more 2s, then a 5 4 2. So we get and then we do 5 and 5 on the A to the D. And then it goes back again, so slow time. And that just keeps on repeating around. I say you're going to do that 4 times. And that takes us through to Interlude Number 5. So I'll just play it through. And that gets repeated, we do that twice. So what we're doing there, we are starting off on the C5. Then we got 3 chugs on that C note. Then we get chord, chug, chord, chug. Move up to the D5. Now this is just chord chug. Back to the C5. Then we get 2 chugs. Then we're going to slide into the E5. So we're coming in from that 5 to 7. We do 4 on that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down to the D5 for 2. Back to the E5 for 2. And then we repeat. So I'm going to show you how to play Interlude Number 6, which takes us into verse number 6. So I'm just going to play it through, then we'll break it down. So what we're doing there, we start off on an open E string, and we're going to play 3 open E strings going to an E5, so we get this. 2 more chugs on the open E. Then I'm doing a 7 on the 7 on the A and the D, hammering on the 9 on the D, and then 2 more chugs on the open E, followed by 2 threes, 2 on the E, back to the 3. So that bar. And then we have got back to the 3 chugs. So that's the same thing. Then there's a pause, and it's 3, 2, 3. So them 2 parts together. And then back in. Now, this next section now, we're going to play 4 open E's, so 4 chugs. E5 power chord, straight into 4 more chugs. And then we've got an open E twice, and then 2, 3. So we get back to the chugs on the E 4 times, to the E power chord, and then 4 more chugs on the E. And then we finish off with 2 threes, back to the 2 3. So that last section. Now we are into verse number 6, which goes like this. What I'm doing now, I've got 4 chugs first. E5, then 3 chugs, back to a power chord, so. And then I've got 2 open E's again, and then 3, 2, 3. So we get that. Put it all together. Now we're going to play that riff twice, but at the end of the second time we will get this sequence. So it goes like this. So what I'm playing there, I'm doing the 4 chugs, power chord, 3 chugs, and then I'm playing all, and then to the 2, so I've got 2 open. Then I've got the C add 9 chord, so I'm just playing the bar on the 3 and then holding down D5 and G5. Move it up 2 frets, and then I've got a D5. You see I'm just strumming down them. I'm kind of opening up, arpeggiating the strings slightly, and then up to an E5, E9. And then I'm back home. Play that again. So let me just go through that nice and slowly. back into that riff again. So we repeat that for a second time as well, finishing with that. Now, after all that, we're actually going to get into the chorus. So let's go and check that out. So let's play it all the way through and then I'll break the chord progression down. Okay, we start off with that C5 chord, down on 3rd fret, holding down again, D and G5. Then we do a G5 chord, so I'm just holding down 3 and 3 on the E, the B and the E string, muting the B string and just playing the 3 on the E. Up to that E9 chord, so bar on the 5 and then 7, 7, D, G. Move up 2 frets to an E9 chord, so it's a down, up, down. Back down to the C5, G5, all the way up to the E5. Start all over again, E5, oh sorry, E5, it's E9, G5, up to the D9, to the E9, and then I've got two C, and I've got this C5, and then a G5, and then a D5 to that E9. So from there we go back to, we repeat that whole section all the way through, and then we go back in and we repeat the whole of the chorus section all over again. Coming out of the chorus section, we are then into Janick Gers' solo, which is played over that. All the way through Janick Gers, we are playing that riff. Coming out of Janick Gers' solo, we then go into yet another interlude, and this one is Interlude Number 7. So we're going to check that out, which goes like this. And that would repeat through, so you go. And that just keeps repeating through that whole loop, all the way through Interlude Number 7. So what are we doing now? Well, we start off on the 9th fret on the G string. We're going to play that twice. Then we do a 9 on the D, back to the 9 on the G. Then we got 9D, 9G. Then we go back on that, so we get 9D, 9G, the 7 on the B, then we go back 9G, 9D, then back to 9G, and then 7 on the B. So we put that all together. Going on to that 7, that is the end of that. Then we've got 8, 7 on the B to 9, 7 on the G. Then we've got, across on the D string, bit of a quick jump across though, we have got 10 and then onto 9 on the D. And this is the tricky one, we're going to leap right across to the 10 on the B string, playing 10, 8, 7. So we get. And then it finishes on 9, 7 on the G. So that. It goes nice and slow. Then we're back to. and that just keeps on repeating through, right up to the outro section. And the outro section starts off the same way we began. We've got that, we'll be going to the C, up to the E9, and we've got that. That whole section gets played through, same as we did right at the beginning, and then we go back to the section where we're playing the E5 down to G to the D. Play that all the way through. We played that complete entirety of that loop that we had right at the beginning, and then finally into the final outro verse, which goes like this. That takes us to the end of the song. What we're doing now, we're just playing through an E5, just playing down 1, 2, 3. So I'm doing 7, 7, 9, 9, up to the 10th fret, doing 10, 12, 12, down to the C5, so it's 3, 5, 5. Then we got this little first time around, we're doing 5, 7, 5 on the D to 7 on the G. And then 5 on the A to the 7 on the D. And then we repeat the opening part that we did there, which is the E5, G5 on 10, down to the C5 on 3. Now this one, instead of doing that little move across, we're just going to play 5, 7, 7, 5. Now we go back and repeat E5. G5, up and 10, C5, then that, back to the E5, G5, C5. That is the end of the song.